we have a fun-packed show for all you guys tonight. Joining me tonight, he's in pursuit of life, liberty, and unwilling strangers. It's Steve Koski.
Slow down, I promise. I won't touch you much.
Much. Also, inspiration for the movie Alien Space Hugger, it's Robert Wyatt.
You say aliens, I say Joe Biden. Just kind of get up close, little sniffy sniff and a kissy kiss.
And then there's an egg in your throat. And his Tinder review only states poops in the bed. It's Kenny Terry.
Oh wow, are we supposed to? Shit, I thought that's like what it was meant for.
That's what hotels are for.
That's what hotel.
Funny enough, I mean, this is kind of the anniversary of when we went down and we stayed at that Roach Motel down in St. George and took that TPC class.
Has it been 4 years?
Basic shit in that bed.
I don't know what they did in that bed, but it was questionable.
Those sheets weren't even worth wiping with.
The poop was dry in the bed. That's how long it had been there. So anyways, we got to kind of hit something that's pretty big right off the bat, and that is the USPA rule change.
USPA?
USPSA. Sorry. Rule changes that affected production, carry optics, and single stack. So if you get your little rule book open and you turn down to like Appendix D4 and moving on. There's some changes. So Robert, why don't you touch into these?
If we do the TLDR on all of this, it basically is HQ's like, yeah, we don't give a crap anymore. So just do whatever you want.
It's like, well, I blame us because we had that show about IDPA cracking down on people carrying appendix with a light, and so USPSA is like, here's a movement. We're gonna cater to these people. It's like, are we gonna get rid of a division and make a new division? They're like, no, we shall ruin the ones you like.
You know the funny thing about that though is like, well, it's the funny thing about that is like USPSA. I mean, they looked at all the kerfluffle that IDPA went through when they were stupid. Well, they've always been stupid, but when they were really stupid and said like that. AIWB doesn't belong in a practical shooting sport. And it's like some people, they'd put a shot across the bow of another organization. USPSA, they took a double-barrel shotgun and stuck it in their face and pulled the trigger.
Well, they were just like, hold my beer. Yep. They literally like, hold my beer. Watch what we can do. So here's the
So yeah, so you like functionally, you have now they used to allow weapon-mounted lights, but they couldn't actually function, so they were basically just weights. Sorry, Bob Vogel.
But they were not allowed in many of it. You couldn't have them in single stack production or carry optics. Right?
It was only limited and open.
Right.
But now you can run them anywhere. Well, you can.
But these lights have to be functional. You have to be able to turn them on in production, carry optics. Now, single stack.
But here's the deal.
In limited,
we all know how this is going to work.
So the rules haven't changed in limited for flashlights, right? So you can still have a flashlight or a weight in limited, but it can't work. But it must work in the other divisions. Am I reading that right?
That's the way I understood it.
Yes, it has to be functional. The rule is it has to be a functional light.
Okay.
Even in limited.
No, they changed limited. Limited used to be it couldn't work.
This does not touch limited, does it?
No, it just touches 4, 5, 6, and 7. Limited, I believe, is D2. Open's D1, limited's D2, L10 is
wait a minute.
D3.
Yeah, no. Appendix
D2, then.
D2 through D7, item 14, which is the light, was changed to yes, must be functional. It's allowed in all divisions.
Okay, so limited.
So Vogel has to change his limited gun now.
He has to make some.
He has to make that thing
produce some light.
He has to take all the shot out of it and put batteries in it.
Well, or you have to wire up some little crappy LED on the front and still fill most of it with lead shot.
Pretty soon what's going to happen, this is exactly it. Pretty soon what's going to happen is somebody's going to have this little tiny button that'll turn a little LED light on. It'll run off like one of those little LR44 batteries. It'll work for about 3 seconds, long enough for equipment to check it.
Yeah.
And then it's done. And then it's just the way it's going to go.
This is what's going to happen. Someone's going to go down and going to go like, I would like to make a lot of money off of people who want weighted lights. And then they go to Costco and they say, wow, I can get 4 of these lights for $12. And they go, that's awesome. and then they go home and they
We're
order
gonna
a bunch
drill
of
those out.
nope. They order a bunch of tungsten off of eBay. It shows up.
Oh.
They hollow out the tungsten to put the light in it, and then make a pick mount on top of it. And so you literally have a tungsten weight that will put a light in it. And they're like, well, how do you turn the light on? Well, you push the light farther in on itself so the tail cap activates, and now you have a mounted light. How much
There you
does it
go.
weigh? 12 ounces. Seems legit.
And
then
that would be fine in limited because there's not a weight limit, right? But in the other divisions, there are weight limits, and in production, there's a weight limit by gun. So they look up your gun, and you have to be
Nope,
to
60
Nope.
ounces.
59
that's
ounces.
right,
That was
that's
last year.
right.
60 ounces. So
all you Glock
Oh.
boys can now go and run
Steve.
60 ounces of 59, but
you only have 32 ounces to play with on a Glock 17. You only
got 2 pounds.
what the hell are you supposed to
a
do with 30?
2-pound light that barely functions. How soon can this hit the market? 2-pound light? God damn. I won't even be able to walk around with that much weight and extra in my holster. I have to put an extra mag to counteract the tippage.
Well, it's
Do you
like
think anybody's going to try to get a light that they can focus and use it as an aiming device?
yeah, I was talking to Kenny.
Yeah, Troy already spoke about that, and he's like, no, that's a laser. He can't do it.
Well,
But it's not a laser, it's a light.
What if you literally
Oh,
took
it's going to hit ARB, and somebody's going to win. Somebody's going to lose.
As long as it's
$100
not a
on it.
laser, he said, as long as it's not a laser,
if
it can't be a laser.
if I take a Streamlight
Well,
TLR1
what is a laser if not a hyper-focused light?
beam of light.
It's the single frequency. They're all, what's the phrase? Collinear. Anyway, there's a distinct difference between a light and a laser.
I understand that,
Steve,
but the rule book doesn't actually say that.
Steve will be your
But
expert
Troy has said
witness
that.
to say it's all.
Troy
So like,
has said that.
let's say if you get a
Yeah,
Streamlight
Troy makes stuff up. There's a
does.
reason that coincidentally enough, single stack also gained weight. It wouldn't have anything to do with Troy getting bumped to open at stack nats.
Oh God, did he go overweight and get bumped?
Yep.
yeah, because in
This is just like Bill Wilson losing to Wayne Ritchie and changing the rules the next chance he got.
well he
Ding,
did
ding, ding,
he
ding.
did it
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
he didn't change. The 1911 one makes sense because 9mm 1911s are notoriously hard for making weight.
It does not make sense. Why can't you have a full dust cover and a freaking bull barrel? So you can have more weight, but you can't have a full dust cover. Oh, you can't have a bull barrel. Like, if you can change single stack, change it properly. Don't just change one dumbass rule.
Yeah.
Why?
So you put a
Why would
light
they-
on
why-
it, but you can't
The
have
only
a full
rule,
dust cover.
no, Kenny. The only rule that actually needs to be changed is the one that got the head of DNROI bumped to open.
I get that part. I'm just saying, it's so dumb. I was thinking about this, like, so I can have a heavier single stack gun, but I still can't put a bull barrel in it, huh?
Yeah.
I'm just
Yep.
disappointed they didn't use the phrase "founder's intent."
To move it on there. Yeah, so back to the light. So if I take a Streamlight TLR1 HL, right, so 1,000 lumen light, and I simply take some 100-mile-an-hour tape or some sort of epoxy and cover most of the light bezel except for a very small point, which in a lower light or an indoor environment or at close range when I had the light on, it would give me not a precise, it'd give me a precise aiming point, which may not be point of aim, point of impact, but let's say close enough to hit an A zone.
The problem is even a really bright light, like take your very best flashlight and just occlude, and so you only have like one little point coming out of it. It's nothing like a laser.
No, it's
And so
nothing like
It's
a
going to be
laser.
pretty crappy. It's going to be
Yeah.
a crappy aiming device.
Well,
unless-
even
Yeah,
red
but let's
lasers
be honest.
during
I
the
mean,
day.
look, you guys all know that 6 Hour next year is going to come out, or it's probably this year, which is why the rule book changed. But they're going to come out with a flashlight that has a very, very narrow beam of light, and they're going to say, now this is legal because we can do this in USPSA. Of course, when they use it, it's probably going to set the gun off and probably ND into somebody's face. But that's neither here nor there.
No.
That's just say quality.
Robert, you forgot a plastic light that is tungsten infused. That is.
So is it legal to turn the light on? Can you turn the light on and shoot with the light on during the stage?
It hasn't
Okay.
said you can't, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just wanted to double check that. Okay, so that's
Yeah,
the light
they're-
stuff. You can have a light. And you can use the light as
changes.
You can, as long as it's part of a light that's functional, you can use the light to add a lot of weight,
Yeah.
potentially up to the division limit.
If I'm Revolver, you know how pissed I am?
Well,
Who was it?
Let's be
Roger
honest,
Mosley
shoot
yesterday
nationals
was like,
with
so can I
59
shoot
other
my
people.
open revolver and check carry optics now?
I mean, if at this point, if you're shooting a revolver, do you even know what time of day it is? I mean,
Well,
it's
Carry a
either
sundial
wake
with
up and go
them.
to the bathroom
Have you had your
or
brand
matlock
muffler?
time. I mean, it's one or the other.
okay, so all right, so we have lights.
Okay,
As far
so
as
what else?
equipment else,
No more equipment position rules behind the hip bone. That's actually a good rule.
Yeah, I like that one.
Because there's no real need to. I mean, you're like production single stack where they always has to be behind the hip bone. It's like why? I mean, what? I mean, if people want to put it up front, good luck. Go with God, let them. If they go prone, that's the thing. You're going to see a lot of stages with people suddenly going prone now just because of that. But I don't. It's
Just a more
solve a
carry. It's just a more carry-like sport.
It is.
Making it a more carry-like sport, and getting away with that just makes it a less carry-like sport. And that's USPSA is not very carry-like, so okay.
Yeah, but if you make that claim, right? How many people are carrying AIWB anymore? I mean, that
Okay.
argument would make that as a valid consideration.
Right. So there's some discontinuity there, which we
Sure.
all understand.
But I just from the standpoint of having to like do equipment check and stuff like that, it solves that as an issue. Then you're not playing like, well, you know that mag pouch is 1 inch in front of your hip bone. Fix that. I mean, outside of like a major match, nobody actually even gives a crap. And even at a major match, it's just to fix it. They just
Yeah.
tell you to fix it, and you fix it, and you move forward.
Yep. So you can run your holster all the way up front. You can now use the height of the holster
stays the same.
stays the
Yeah.
same. So in production
The
and CO,
butt
the
of
butt of the
heel
gun
of the
can't
gun
be
has
below
to
the
be at the top or above the belt.
yeah, it can't the top of the gun can't be
Yeah.
below the top of the belt.
Yeah, that's a better way of saying it. That's a much better way of saying it. Yeah.
So the
But
whole
you could have a bikini holster. You could use kind of a more of a race.
No,
has
No, it still has to be
not in
tied
prod.
up.
It still has to be a proper holster used for everyday carry. I think is what they had mentioned. I don't think it says that in the book, but
you still
So
have
it
still has
just
to be
says
a proper
non-race
holster.
holster, right?
you still have to
Yeah.
have the top of the slide covered to at least a ½ inch below the ejection port.
Yeah,
So-
that bit didn't change.
Okay, so it can't be a bikini holster.
It can't be a bikini holster. So here's one of the interesting that's going to
Arguably is
change.
why shouldn't have been though? I mean, that would have been a lot more closer to what IPSC rules are. I mean, they let everything else. Why did they suddenly like stop short of there and say no, we can't do race?
Well, they
holster?
got to have something to do in 6 months.
Yeah, true.
Well, and that's what they're going to have to do because honestly, the way that the market's moving in the past year and a half, 2 years or so, is that holsters now, especially for the tactical market, are holding on to the light and not the gun at all. So it's like you buy your Surefire X300, like X holster will hold any firearm with the Surefire X300. So it'll essentially wrap the firearm, but only hold on to the X300. And then you
No
have
more
stuff.
holster wear. It's
Yeah.
just light wear now.
And then you have stuff that's like the Ragnarok XD from T-Rex Arms, which will hold onto the holster, but the entire top of the pistol is not covered, so they'll allow like a suppressor. So if you had someone that just held over the front of the holster and then had like wings that almost touch to under an inch underneath the trigger guard, I mean
What sort of
underneath
an
the
abortion is
ejection
that you're
port.
holding? Is that a Storm?
We'll talk about that. It's not a Storm. And by the way, the PX Storm has been stealth discontinued by Beretta, and it's breaking my heart.
Because it's
bastards.
been aborted. It's an abortion.
Well, it's because they finally sold every single one of them to Tom, and now there's no more to sell.
Well, they can't. That's the problem. Is they can't. It's a good enough gun, but they can't seem to sell it. So they're just going to feel their obligations that they've made to the people that they've managed to bamboozle with it. Besides me,
it's a good enough gun, but they can't seem to sell it.
that's happened. That's happened.
That's code word for the world has moved on.
Well, yeah. I mean, what do you want? The world's moved on. It's not like Sharp's rifles don't put people
It's
down
on the
like
trash
they used
heap
to.
of history, Tom.
It's not on the trash heap. It's in the
I
recycling
mean-
bin next to the trash heap of history. Someone will bring it back.
That's because somebody didn't want to take the 2 steps, and they're like, well, I could put this in the recycle bin, or I could put it in the trash. It's the same place. It's going to the same place anyway.
Yeah, pretty much. So we talked about magnets. You can now use magnets.
So
you got
you
the
can now
holster
use
positions.
magnets.
Yeah.
Yeah, fourth bullet point, remove magazines may not be retained through magnetic means. So now you could have potentially all of your magazines retained by magnets. But is that a good idea, Kenny?
No,
Because why?
they move. I don't know. Just use a
Because
goddamn mag
as you run
pouch.
around, as you jump around and stuff, they just shift positions slightly, or more than slightly, right?
Well, like my magnet doesn't. It's actually a work magnet for my work, but it also sucks to reload off of. So unless you practice it, you're gonna screw your reload up anyway.
Why? Why does it suck?
Because it doesn't like come straight up. You kind of have to tilt it to get it off the magnet. So once again, unless you
Yeah.
practice with it, it's not the same. Like,
So you have to minimize the surface area force that the magnet's applying to the magazine to get. It's like when you got one of these industrial magnets. I have one of these industrial magnets. It's about 3 inches, right? And it's for mechanics. It's like, hey, would you like to suspend a hammer over your head? And the mechanic goes, yeah, I would. And they go, here you go, carpenter. And you put the magnet above your head, but it's one of these big ones. So I would use my steel tumbling media and then slide this magnet off of whatever, and then like pick up all the steel tumbling media and then like scrape it off the magnet. And then when you throw the magnet back on something metallic, it goes bong. And then to peel it off, you're having to slide it off whatever and then yank it off. And so it's like, would you like your magnet to retain your magazine that weighs 85 pounds full of 40 caliber ammunition? Yes. Would you like it to be fast acting? Yes. Too bad.
I have the solution to that: electromagnet. So there's going to be a sensor.
Well, I have the solution to that, Steve. I'm gonna make all the walls metal, and then like lots of like hardcover leads from it.
And you're gonna
get your
gonna
pelvis like
sprinkle iron filings all around the stage on the ground. I'll be picking them up off the ground. I'll have all kinds of grit all over everything. So I'm gonna have an electromagnet with about 100 pounds of force. And as I get my hand close to the magazine, there's a sensor that will detect my hand position and turn off the electromagnet, and then the magazine will just be in my hand. So it won't move and it will release.
So as long
in addition to your gun belt, you can be run around with a battery pack on the back of
well,
your
I see
It'll be powered by my flashlight battery.
I see the scenario in which this is working 100%, and then you go down to do your first reload, and it releases the magazine as advertised. It also, because of the proximity, releases all the other magazines on the belt as advertised.
It'll be as funny as PCC as watching PCC guys.
It's just guns that blow up. Yeah, it's
the magazines that just do the ammunition spray to heaven.
Yeah.
And the other thing that just cracks me up about PCC shooters, I watched some guy, first stage of the day, timer goes off, beep, pulls the gun up to his shoulder, bang. Then there's like 8 seconds of dead time while he's changing magazines. Like, that looks like a really crappy way to start the day with an 8-second malfunction.
I'm like, all right, guys, see ya.
Only PCC is that entertaining.
Yeah.
I mean, even open, you can clear a malfunction in under 8 seconds.
Yeah. The poor guys. Well, good news, everybody. Every division's turning into PCC. A little bit of a time. Every day we fall farther from God. So, it's all working out, folks. Don't worry.
Can we go back to 2 divisions, optics and irons?
No, I have another division that's possible, which is semi-automatic and not.
A revolver.
No.
Semi-auto and not, so just one division.
One division. It's just basically, it's like, okay. It's like, what are we?
I'm still holding out for Blunderbuss division.
I know, that'd be a not. Yeah, there you go. It's completely open.
Kenny and I were talking about we're basically almost back to limited and open, major and minor.
Yeah.
Because of the Shadow 2, I mean, it's pretty close to a limited gun. It's limited minor.
You should see it
and
with
now
a
you
light.
Yeah, you should see it with a 2-pound light. Okay, the other change was maximum single stack weight with empty mag increased from 43 to 45. Oh, you already mentioned that because Troy got bumped.
Yeah, because Troy got bumped to open.
So that's to allow
Don't get
Troy
me wrong. They will say that it's for all these.
Oh, I know.
It's hard
just
for
like Bill Wilson said, it
Wilson.
has nothing to do with me getting my ass stomped by Wayne Ritchie under the half a second per point down rule set. It just happened to pop into my mind the day that I got my ass stomped by Wayne Ritchie with the half a second per point down rule set.
The day, the night, and every pursuing hour till it was forced into play. Like
it was 30 days after that when Ken Reed, the area coordinator, and I were walking around the range out at the farm, and he says, hey, IDPA is thinking about going to 1 second per point down. What do you think about that? I said, that'd be a really bad idea. It was 30 days after he lost to Wayne Ritchie. At least he had the grace to wait 30 days. Was this been 30 days since the bump to open?
And it's been a lot longer than that.
Well, let's see. Stack Nats was in what, July or August, I think.
The one thing I will say about single stack is that it's probably one of the divisions that has 9mm steel frame guns with the barrel diameter being increased for 9mm is going to bump the weight. And basically any steel frame gun that had a Picatinny rail on it was going to be overweight anyway. So you're always in between. Even a 45 gun with an aluminum frame with the rail, I think it's more appropriate.
They make rails on short dust cover guns?
Yes, they do. Yeah.
I was gonna say my 9mm single stack doesn't weigh 45 ounces.
Yeah.
So if I can make it work, I don't see what their problem is. Oh wait, they want to put the big old magwell, all the doodads on it, and then like surprise, it doesn't actually make weight.
Yeah. Well, this is an avenue for gun companies to sell stuff.
This is also USPSA, which I mean, remember how long Carry Optics was what Carry Optics was? About 8 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
USPSA is good. Well, sorry. USPSA headquarters is good for one thing and one thing only. And it's collecting.
He had to stop himself. He's just like, wait a second, I gotta go back.
No, headquarters is good for one thing and one thing only, and it's collecting activity fees. Everything else they just.
Oh, great! Now you got to edit.
Oh, like they haven't done it for Kenny already.
God damn it!
Not the. I'm not. If it now I can't even post it. Anyways.
Yes, you can.
So that's what's going on there. Here's
we see on here is gonna be Susan bait.
Here's anyway. This is what I did. My 80% lower kit shipped. Thank goodness. It was funny because I asked them, hey, it said 5 to 8 weeks when I ordered this. How much longer is it going to be? And they said, well, it actually said 12 to 16 weeks when you ordered this. And then I sent them a picture, said, nuh-uh. And then they were like, next day, your item has shipped. What a screen
per gallon.
Probably not. What's a screen grab going to do for you? And then I went up to Gunny's last night and got this thing. So
H&K something, or what is it?
This is an H&K 45. So it's kind of a dream gun. It has besides CDP and IDPA, which is probably, if I get back into shooting, is probably the thing which I'll be doing.
Which means you'd have to.
Is that a USP or what?
There's no
IDPA. It is not a USP. It is an HK 45. That is literally the name of it. And so it is an advancement off of the USP. So it's got like this ergonomic
double action gun.
Double action, single action.
Can you fire it? Can you carry it hammer back, safety on?
Cocked and locked. The multi-function lever, so it acts as a safety. Up is safe, down is fire, and then if you rotate all the way down, we'll decock it. And
it's worthless. It's on the wrong side of the gun.
Well, you can swap it, Robert, but it's it will drop the double action to its very light and not.
I'm gonna guess
stacking.
It's 9 pounds. 9 pounds. No, double action. No, double action is probably 14.
From
Single
an
action is probably
HK,
9.
I'm thinking 20.
The double action is a smooth 11.5 pounds if it's an ounce. They
had to stop at 11.5 because everybody's trigger scales would.
The single action is like 4. The single action is actually pretty. The single action is pretty legit. HK. It's because of the German police's drop test, which is 2 meters on concrete, that they essentially always have heavier triggers than most other pistols. And so,
and you bought
they haven't bought SIGs?
Because they're actually pretty robust and well-made handguns. So HK has a few of these. So
Volkswagen makes good cars, but I don't own one.
No. So HK, same with Plus B ammo, will go 20,000 rounds out of parts without having to replace any part. They have models of them which have gone 70,000 rounds without having to replace a part. It has its system inside where it prevents it from actually beating itself up.
See, the thing is, though, Tommy, you say all this like parts breakage thing like it means something, but fundamentally,
cool.
I've never shot one, and so we know that parts number is like complete BS.
So here's your recoil reduction system, and then that also part, which prevents the slide from battering the frame. And then the other cool thing where I got this
massive
is
power at 45.
yeah. Well, here's the other thing that's really cool about these HK45 guns is I don't know if you can see it, but right here there's an O-ring. There's a rubberized O-ring, and you get 3 of them that come with the gun. But essentially what that does is it seals the barrel to the slide repeatedly, centers it up for accuracy. And so they're just over-engineered and well-made guns. So life of that's 5,000 rounds.
They're definitely over-engineered, which is, I mean, why you have a hammer spring that, you know, takes 2 fingers to actually pull.
Yes. So they're just cool, neat guns, and I like them, and they're really accurate, and they're really reliable, and I wanted one.
This was your 3rd stimulus payment you just blew, or what?
No, this is the we paid when we refinanced our house. We paid too much, and they got to send us a check back. So.
Oh, so you financed this for 30 years or for 15 years?
Basically.
Essentially. You financed a HK45 that you're never going to shoot more than 200 rounds through.
I'm going to shoot more than 200. I have like 600 rounds downstairs I can put through it. And
you're not going to, though. You're going to shoot single stack.
That is the new single stack.
Yeah, this is, believe me, in 6 months this will be in single stack, all right? It's on the way there. But even if I shoot it in prod or L10, it's a fun, cool little gun. It's awesome. It's like, well,
it needs better sights though. I mean, that's 13 probably, right?
Yeah, well, it came with these actual night sights, these true dot actual night sights, and it's not a bad sight picture. And it came with 3 10-round mags because it was like the police.
Only
edition.
teners? Yeesh.
Yeah, and here, hold on.
Glock. Are they California mags or is
Glock
that just
17
all they hold?
mag, HK45 10-round mag.
So it's already a half-inch taller.
Yes.
And it holds several rounds less.
Are they internally pinned or?
No, that's 10 rounds.
All they can hold.
But it's not it's not as blocky as the Glock 45s. Is
No.
It? It's got a little slimmer frame.
No,
it's
as slim as a Glock 17 mag, if not
or
slimmer. Yeah.
Does it feel good? Does the grip feel good?
The
grip
Glock 40, the Glock 41 doesn't have a thick frame anymore.
Yeah, the slim frame, but it's basically when you grab it, it's a little bit taller than a Glock 17, but not as wide as a Glock 17. Like it literally feels like you're holding like a Glock 17
that makes
size
sense
handgun.
that it only holds 10 rounds then. It would have to be, yeah.
So it's
to get 13 rounds in a Glock 17 height, it has to be a little fatter.
Yeah. And so, you know, the old thing was like, well, have bigger hands. Like, we'll make the grip as big as we want. Have bigger hands.
So basically, they made a 45 gap, but they figured out how to not do it with the short cartridge.
Yeah, it's basically as ergonomic as well a bit of a 45 caliber handgun as you can get.
That's awesome.
That's not. It's over-engineered. It's hyper accurate.
I just hope you actually shoot it more than 100 rounds before you sell it or trade it to somebody.
Oh,
and I hope you remember when you sell it and you trade it that you finance that for 30 years.
I'm gonna shoot this thing a bunch, so it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. I'm really happy with it.
Who pays for a house over 30 years anyway?
First-time home buyers, I'm guessing.
Not me. What was your refi to? You refi into 15, Tom?
Yeah, and then 2.52, what is it? I forget. 2.5 or 2.6. Low 2.6, something in there. So it was great.
I thought you were going to tell me you had a big balloon payment at the end.
No. So unfortunately not. Welcome to Refinancing Talk. I'm your host. Don't consider this financial advice. If you want other advice to do with your money, head on over to GamblePulse.com. Use promo code PPRO10, save 10% off your order. And Dominate Defense, use promo code PARA10 and get a fantastic belt for your shooting needs. Also, you can head over to Patreon or Subscribestar. Give us $1 a month. Get the longer uncensored version of the show because we can't stop people from saying bad words. And also, you can head over to Facebook.com or Telegram. Facebook, ask us questions. Telegram, come join us. Ask us, talk to us there. It's a good time. So, Robert, hit it.
We have a couple questions, not that many, but
that's fine. I don't want to hear them. I got other stuff. I got other stuff I got to get to, Robert. I got a list.
You're not going to let us talk about what we did in guns?
Fine. What'd you do?
I shot one D, one mic, one no shoot, and I managed to win production because you jerks won't show up and shoot matches anymore.
Well, it's an LTD.
Jerks,
that's
I'm
why.
Looking I'm looking at Robert and Tom. Kenny was there. He won the match. I came in just ahead of Frenchie, who was shooting carry optics. Yes.
It was at LTD. Yeah, that's actually my only excuse. It was at LTD.
Yeah.
I still refuse to shoot that place.
I also have a vaccine appointment tomorrow. Not that has anything to do with guns, but I'm excited.
Well, God bless. Go for it. Kenny, do you want to talk about you stomping everybody? How did you feel?
I got to call.
I shot 4 penalties in 2 stages. I haven't done that in a long freaking time.
And you almost got to shoot through a wall that was flapping like a sheet in a hurricane. It was pretty crazy. This wall was
LTD.
Yeah, we still don't stake down stages. So after their third time, they're like, "You want to reshoot?" I was like, "I'll just take my mics and deal with it. I'm done." Like,
and he had
40
two
guy.
no-shoots on that stage. I was like,
$40
let him reshoot it. Let him reshoot it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that exponentially increases the cost of the match.
Yeah.
It's like that one time I had to shoot the same stage 4 times because every random thing would happen behind me, or something would happen to the stage, or the timer would go off, or something wasn't reset properly. And by the 4th time, it's like we have an entire squad behind us. Dirk is running me through it, and it's just like, okay, like I'm gonna do it. It's like, all right, can we start? It's like I need to catch my breath. Like I just ran back, loaded magazines, do it again, restart, do it again, restart. It's just, what do you do?
The funniest, we had a guy who had to reshoot a stage and almost had to reshoot it again. And I don't know if he's a newer shooter or whatever, but he's shooting factory 45.
Jeez.
It's a 30-round stage, and he's taking like 5 makeup shots per. And I'm like,
Dollar bills, dollar bills, dollar bills.
I would be there trying to catch his brass. That's what I would try to be.
He had lots of friends helping him pick up 45 brass.
Yeah, because the day that you show up and you shoot 45, everybody suddenly on the squad is shooting 45.
They remember.
You're like, where'd all my brass go?
They remember that they shoot 45 also.
I got to get me a brass catcher for this thing. That reminds me. Hopefully that will be legal in 6 months. So.
So what's the next rule change? And why? And why isn't there some? Why do they just get to change the rules at any time with? And there's no discussion. It's just like, boom! Oh, massive rule change.
There's no discussion. There's no vote.
That rule too. There used to be only every 2 years, right? You could change rules, and then they changed that rule. So now they can change it whenever they want.
I thought it was actually in the bylaws they could only do it every 2 years.
Yeah, they changed that. Troy was like, whoa, whoa, whoa! I want to change rules whenever the hell I want. Every time I lose a match, Troy wants to.
I kind of think that having some stability and some guardrails there are a good idea.
No,
I mean, if we want to change it, we can all change it in 2 years, but.
Well, it's not like
it
ever.
They want people to like get settled in, like, all right, it's no longer a gear race, and then they're like, haha, just kidding.
That's right.
Going back to a gear race.
Yeah, that's right. It's a gear race against stupid. What'd you think it was not going to be? Like when has they ever come out of there and said, you know what, guys? We went too far. We went too far. We have to
back to 43 ounces.
We have to go back. The sport's gone out of control. We're all shooting the same division. We're shooting limited or limited minor optic. We have to go back. No one's ever said that. They're not going to. When someone shows up with a literal barrel weight that has the smallest 18 lumen LED flashlight attached to the bottom of it, they're going to go.
18 lumens. This is going to have a little green indicator light.
It
comes out the back, and the guy's going to say, it's a light.
It's going to be
like, yeah, but it shines towards you. He's going to like, it's a light.
I pulled it off
I
pulled it off my Christmas tree and attached it to a match weight on the bottom of my pistol. And guess what? There's nothing in there that says from a legitimate manufacturer or proven list for anything.
They are actually going to do that. Somebody, I kid you not, somebody will legitimately do that. They will. And what is USPSA going to say? No, we don't think so. It's like, here's your rules. Tell me where in your rules I'm running afoul of this, because you are literally doing what their rules say.
Where's the official
and it's going to
production
go to ARB, and unless the arbitration committee is just a bunch of complete patsies or whatever, yeah, it's totally going to happen. And then you're going to see another dang rule change that comes down the pipe. It's. The thing is, though, I mean, realistically, if you think about it, I mean, all of these changes, they really don't. There's nothing in them that's just like this game changer of a change. They're just things that are kind of dumb, but it's like, yeah, whatever.
Do you think they're going to change the high hit factors on the classifiers for the more advantageous holster and magazine positions.
Do you think it's that big of an advantage?
Well, I don't think it's that big of an advantage, but do I think it is measurable? I think it's probably measurable.
Yeah, I don't know. I know Adam Reiser once did a video where he compared a Kydex holster to a race holster, just so you know which is faster, and he's like, it doesn't make that big of a difference.
Well,
I mean,
that big of a difference. It doesn't make that big of a difference. But when you're talking about a classifier where you have a draw and maybe 4 shots, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 seconds, it matters.
Well,
it potentially does, but again, it comes back. In that regard.
0.01, 0.1 second would matter a whole lot.
But at the end of the day, the classification system is pretty effed up, and the only thing that matters is your match score.
Well, the one thing I'll say about the rule change,
that's kind of
so
where
it doesn't
we're
really
at.
matter if they adjust those a small amount or not.
With the flashlights,
there was a time when I thought the classification was the be all end all, and so you kind of play that game of that race to get to the next letter, and then eventually it's like, well, if you show up at a major match and you're this letter, but you're getting waxed by 3 divisions below you, then are you really that, or did you have a couple classifiers fall your way one day when you just happened to be shooting really well?
Yeah.
What is your true classification? It's how you show up at Nationals or an area match.
They were using the old 5x5 classifier times. Sorry. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, wrong sport.
Right.
No, but I mean that actually is a pretty valid point, because you saw that when IDPA first came out with that 5x5, there was a lot of folks who were they were overclassifying, and so they were being listed as masters when they would tell you straight up, I'm not this guy, but the skills that are tested in the 5x5 are not representative of what's actually happening in a true match scenario.
Yeah. But it was easier to set up. So the one thing
I think the first reloads are going to be faster. I mean, you come from an angled mag pouch up front.
Oh,
I think you're going to get that magazine better. So all the classifiers that have a mandatory reload in them, I think they'll be a little snappier.
So I was talking to some friends about it, and like, are you going to change anything? And like, we all kind of came to the conclusion, it's like, if you take and you move your number 1 pouch, even if you didn't angle them out, but if you move your number 1 pouch basically right underneath the nipple line, that's going to do 2 things. It's going to allow you to get back to your back one a lot more efficiently, and you will have a lot easier time getting number 1 out. And so that certainly will make a difference. How much it
so you're going to get a couple hundredths. You're going to get a couple hundredths on the draw, let's say, and you're going to get a couple hundredths on a reload. A few hundredths, maybe 3 or 4 hundredths on a reload.
Yeah, and
I think it'll give classification up to a certain point, because I think like once you hit GM, I don't think it really matters where your holster or mag pouch is. You pretty much do them at the same time either way.
Yeah.
So I think you might affect classification up to like A, maybe master, but I think that's probably all you're going to affect it.
Interesting.
I feel like you're right in that regard.
I just feel like, especially with the lights, they should have had an improved list of lights. You could have stopped.
Yeah, but then we start doing USPSA approved gun list games.
Mm-hmm.
And the IDPA holster list. What an abortion that was.
Yeah. And so
it's funny. It's like
they've opened up Pandora's box with the lights.
I know, and now like
you will see them come out with clarifications in the next month or so about what is the second that we have a major, and somebody shows up with one of those tungsten weight doodads or whatever, and they have to actually send it through ARB. You're going to have
with a sticky light on the front of it.
Yeah.
But what can they do, Robert? Like I was going to ask the other day, like what can they do to actually fix what they've done now? They can't say they can't work, because then people will just fill them with tungsten anyways.
Right.
Are they going to have some kind of lumen tester that has to be?
Yes, that's a great idea.
That is what they would do.
Wait, so their whole thing of changing holsters was to make it easier on equipment check. So now they're going to add something else for equipment check?
Yeah, how do you
themselves either way? Like, there's no way of fixing what they did. It's just
you would have to have an approved list, because
I already came up with the electromagnetic mag pouch, so clearly there's a solution to the light situation. We just haven't thought of it yet.
Basically, inside of the safe area, you're gonna see a crap ton of of used batteries, so that people are trying to like put the most powerful battery
lead shot on the ground.
Well, the one thing with like the lumens and like the battery is like, well, it can just produce a bunch of light and not have any like time duration or milliamp behind it. Like you could literally just have it be like, all lights have to produce over 300 lumens. All right, mine produces 300 lumens for 30 seconds, and then it completely runs
fine.
out.
I mean, that's still a pretty tough hurdle to get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I mean, if
light
you're not
technology becomes
actually
easier and
like
easier.
calling out specific brand manufacturers, TLR, HL1, whatever,
But
blah,
you'd
blah,
have to
blah.
have some sort of a.
But then you
light
have a
meter
list.
You'd shine it at.
And then you'd have to test it, and then they'd be like, hey, we don't trust our own people to test rules and equipment, so let's do away with the
So
list.
let's do away with that because, obviously the people in equipment check are too stupid to actually
How's,
check thing.
how's 1 second
basically-
from point down sounding now? Every year it sounds a little bit better. You're like, you know what? Why did I leave that sport? It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. Anyway, let's hit the questions. So we can
Basically,
get our life.
Jake Martins came up with an idea and he didn't actually think it through. Wow, shocker. This is my shocked face. Do you see that? Yeah.
People can at YouTube. All right.
Let's see. Lex Kanishi sent a link to Joe Biden's gun safety website. You bastard. From JC, what are your thoughts on USPSA's two-gun nationals using PCC and pistol? I personally think this would be a great idea for clubs to adopt.
Two-gun PCC and pistol. I think that's actually sounds like a great idea. As long as
that's the time plus one that we talked about, right?
yeah.
Yeah, that's a good experiment.
Well, the one thing too is like as long as you have to use both in a stage, then it's a great idea. Because the one thing that always happens when you have PCC and pistol in like multi-gun stuff is like the competitor goes like, well, I'm really terrible at pistol. Apparently shooting this PCC is way easier. And so like two gun becomes quickly one gun. As long as they select targets, they have to be engaged with the pistol.
Well,
So
that was 2x4, right?
yeah.
I mean, in UML, it turned into basically show up with your PCC and shoot everything until they make you change the gun, and then you switch to the pistol or the rifle,
Yeah.
and then do the same thing again. It's totally stupid.
I'll save this one paper target for the very end of the stage or the very beginning of the stage, and then hose everything down with my bullet sprayer. So could be fun. Everything's could be fun if it's well executed. USPSA rules could be fun if they're well executed. Moving on.
Let's see, from Andy Erickson. Why isn't two-gun nationals being shot with rifle caliber carbine and hit factor scoring? That's in the multi-gun rulebook.
Because they're trying something new. It's a test. Because
And there's no better test than nationals.
Because USPSA multi-gun is not a super popular multi-gun sport, and they're trying something new, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, well, good
Fair.
point. Good point,
It's
Steve.
fair.
Good point. So why couldn't we have like USPSA multi-gun nationals where handguns do exist and they have like divisional rules? Why couldn't we try some of this light magnet nonsense
There,
like over there? Like for the love of God, couldn't we use Steel Challenge as like like listen guys, we have this division in Steel Challenge you can use the light now and you can position your crap wherever you want it to and we're going to see if it increases involvement, give some guys some chances to carry, and then
somebody tries to swing a 4-pound Steel Challenge gun.
Yeah,
that's going to end well.
It's just like it's like coming up with like a new formula for Coke. It's like we're going to try it in New Mexico, we're going to try it in Texas, and we're going to try it in Nevada. We're not shipping this to California. We're not shipping it to New York. We don't want that bad of a reputation. And so like these states get like, man, my Coke tastes off. I don't like it anymore. And then like other places that actually made all the money, they're like, still the same Coke. And so
they'll riot when you take that new Coke away.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I want my new Coke. Don't give me that
Coke was
classic
horrible.
Coke. And so it goes off.
Didn't they do like the taste test challenge with that thing? And people are like, this is Pepsi. No, it's new Coke. Oh crap.
Oh no. Yeah. Please feel free to use Steel Challenge and two gun to USPSA multi-gun, to mess around with everything else.
I mean,
leave Steel Challenge alone, okay? It's a one place the rules haven't changed 10 times in the last 3 years.
I know, like
yeah, because the only people that are shooting are like old and decrepit.
Shut your dirty mouth.
What a beacon for sanity. I mean, I just like, why not? Why couldn't we just like
Well, still challenged went and did another thing. They went and put 30,000 divisions in. And they watered it down so heavily that basically, if you show up and you're not blind and you actually happen to hit one of the targets, you're going home with a trophy.
Damn right I am.
Okay, Steel Challenge now is only 45 caliber iron sights only. That's the only thing you can use as a Steel Challenge.
And it must be a 1911 as designed by John Moses Browning.
How dare you, you son of a bitch. You know I got a new gun. Anyways. All right, is that it?
I'll tell you, we have one more, but
All
I'd say the last time I shot a non-1911 in 45 was at that IDPA match with Ari. That was the last time I shot that gun. And ironically, it was the first time I ever shot that gun in competition, and I literally brought it out just to shoot that match. Then I put it back in the safe, and it's never been touched. I probably haven't even cleaned it.
It's still got the dusting of victory all over it. All right, let's do one more.
Speaking of not cleaning guns, I've now shot like 6 or 8, or I've lost track because I can't remember the last time I cleaned my match gun, my Glock 17. The gallant bullets. I mean, the guns. You can tell I've been firing coated bullets through it, but I just add a little more oil, put it back together, shoot another match. Like, it just keeps going.
Yeah, I haven't cleaned my competition guns since Area 4 of last year. So that was back in September. Yeah.
All right.
Still runs.
Is there a limit? Or can I shoot these gallant bullets just indefinitely without cleaning the gun?
That depends on the powder you put into it. I mean, some of those, the tight group is garbagey. I mean, it's super dirty, right? But oh man, I tell you guys, I got what was it, 30 pounds of, well, technically it's 33 pounds of Prima. Was it Prima V? No. Yeah, Prima V. I was quite excited about that.
Have you got to 100 pounds yet?
Oh, dude, I long past that one.
Okay, you're well over the 100-pound mark.
Yeah, I started counting and I stopped at 100, and I still had more to go.
It's like asking Ted Bundy if he's gotten to 10 yet. He's like, oh, well past.
At a certain point, why even count?
All right, I got dead or alive. So let's answer this guy's question or not. We're doing dead or alive. Good. Thanks for writing in. I even if we had more, I wouldn't answer any more of them. That's what I think of you guys. If you guys don't know, if you guys haven't been around the show for long enough, this is a part where we play a game, so if you just want the serious, hard-hitting, detailed-oriented conversations that we have about USPSA and competition shooting, then you might want to turn off now because we're going to enter a little game show we would like to call Dead or Alive.
Dead or alive.
Someone's got to tell...
Hit it, John!
Dead. Oh, I know it's John supposed to do it.
That's the point. So on the YouTube version, you're not going to have it. All right. Anyways, I was sitting there going along, and I was hearing stories about dead celebrities being canceled. And I decided to take the dead and put them up in the living on Dead or Alive, who wins the battle of yearly incomes? Dead celebrities or living celebrities? Gentlemen, I'll ask you to have a pen and paper handy so that you may answer these truthfully. I have 6 questions and 1 tiebreaker if we so get to that point. The point of the episode will be, I will give you 2 celebrities, 1 dead and 1 alive, and you will tell me which one made more money in the year 2019.
Okay.
Which celebrity made more money in the year 2019? Are you ready?
Ready.
Celebrity death match number, well, not really a death match. It's more of a money match because one of them's already dead, so you could instantly declare.
And they didn't kill each other directly.
Wait, if they're dead, how do they make money?
Well, there you go.
You'll
see. Dead or alive, our living contestant is the rapper known as Yeezy, Kanye West. He is going up against the king of pop himself.
Yeezy or Kanye West?
It's Kanye West. He's also known as Yeezy.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, well, I've already lost this one.
Kanye versus
Michael Jackson. Who made more in 2019? Kanye West or Michael Jackson's estate?
We're not guessing now yet.
You're writing down your answer.
Writing it down. Okay.
You're writing down your answer.
Got it.
Okay. Are your answers locked in?
Locked in.
Okay. Hold them up to the camera so we know you're not cheating. Steve, you actually have to put it into the camera so I can see it.
I don't even see it.
Okay.
Hang on here a second. No, just kidding.
Okay.
I have Michael.
I actually don't know how to spell Michael Jackson's last name. I started writing it, but
All of you guys went with
J-A-K-S-O-N?
Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson. You all, gentlemen, are incorrect. Kanye West made a $170 million. Michael Jackson only made $48 million from his grave. So the effort to production, obviously, Kanye's losing out. Okay. Our next set of contestants. One is a daytime TV talk show doctor whose wisdom has helped generations. Dr. Phil McGraw. He is up against Beatles frontman John Lennon. John Lennon. Who made more money in 2019? Phil McGraw or John Lennon?
Oh, these are hard, Tom.
That's why I made them.
All right, I'm sticking with the music. I'm going to stay with John Lennon.
Can you see that? There.
I don't know if you can see it.
So, okay, Kenny and Robert are with Dr. Phil. Steve went with John Lennon. John Lennon can stay dead because Dr. Phil made $80 million last year, and John Lennon only made a measly 13.
It's because he married Yoko.
Yeah, that's all Yoko's doing. All right, our third contestant, the professor of soul himself, Daryl Hall from Hall & Oates, versus basically the sex symbol of the 20th century, Marilyn Monroe. Who made more in 2019, Daryl Hall or the estate of Marilyn Monroe?
All right.
Answers, please.
I'm sticking with the music, god damn it.
Steve for Daryl Hall, Kenny for Marilyn Monroe, Robert with Daryl Hall. Unfortunately for you two, Kenny now jumps to a point lead. Marilyn Monroe made $8 million. Daryl Hall made $6.33 million. $6.33.
So, are we supposed to be writing? Are we supposed to be circling who made more money?
Yes. It's who makes more money.
I had it backwards, so I have 3 points.
No, you don't, Steven. No, you don't. Okay, our next one comes from.
I've seen how this voting idea works in the Democratic Party. It's not going to fly this time, Steve.
We'll add points at the end. Don't worry. So here we go.
Because I've just been throwing them away.
Battle of the Freds. 1. Fernando Tatis Jr., shortstop for the San Diego Padres, versus Freddie Mercury from Queen. Which one made more money, Fernando Tatis Jr. or Freddie Mercury in the year 2019? Mercury. Steven says Mercury. Okay. Now, if this was the year 2020,
This movie came out in 2019, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
I need to see that movie.
Fernando Tatis in the year 2020 made a reported $24 million. But in the year 2019, before he signed his contract, he only made $555,000, crowning Freddie Mercury at $9 million, the victor, right there.
I have a point. I'm on the board.
Kenny's up 3, Robert has 2, and Steve has 1. Okay. Battle of the doctors. Okay, 2 serious professionals here battling out. 1, TV doctor, Dr. Oz, who just saved someone's life in an airport the other day. Good on Dr. Oz. And a man who brought literacy to millions, Dr. Seuss. Which one made more money in 2019?
I'm glad you said 2019 because he was canceled this year.
Or Dr. Seuss. Which one?
Dr. Oz versus Dr. Seuss. Okay. I'm saying Oz, man.
How do you spell his name? I can't know how to spell his name.
Seuss?
Is that it? S-E-U-S-S?
Kenny says Oz. Oh, goodness. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Oz made $20 million in 2019. Dr. Seuss made $33 million in 2019.
Shoot.
Steve, I want you to write down what you think is going to be the right answer and then immediately cross it out and pick the other one. If you had done that, you would be winning.
Well, I tried that after question 3.
Kenny is at 3 and Robert is at 3. We have a tie with 1 question left and then a tiebreaker. So Here we go. Steve,
The
you're
tiebreakers for all the marbles, though, right?
Yeah, that's right. It's like a game of lightning or like pig. It's like one guy's almost spelling pig, and
Okay,
the
next
other
shot
guy's
wins.
next shot wins. It's like no matter what. What are you, 55 points down? Yeah, next shot wins. That's all it comes down to.
You
All
gotta
right.
try that. If when you're losing, you got to say stuff like that.
Okay. The king of YouTube, PewDiePie, versus the king
What?
of reggae, Bob Marley. Who made more money in 2019, PewDiePie or Bob Marley?
Spell PewDiePie. I've never.
PEW, DIEPIE, PewDiePie.
I forgot that it was. I forgot that it was a PewDiePie.
Robert goes
We're
with
going opposite again, Rob.
PewDiePie. Marley. Steve went with PewDiePie. Ladies and gentlemen.
Good job, Kenny.
Ladies and gentlemen, the people have sorted themselves out. We have sorted themselves in a winner, so we will not need a tiebreaker. The correct answer was PewDiePie at $15 million, Bob Marley at $14 million.
Whoa.
PewDiePie takes him
That
out.
was close.
Robert comes in with 4 points, Kenny 3 points, and Steve with 2 points. Would you guys like to play the tiebreaker for fun?
Yes.
I just want to say, what does that say about that Bob's not making more money than?
Bob's making more money. He's making.
Well,
He's
have you
making
ever heard his music? It
95%.
sucks.
He's making
I don't know if
95%.
we can be friends no more, Bob. Rob, shit.
PewDiePie.
I'm
My brain
actually.
just short-circuited for a minute. I couldn't handle what you were saying.
Well, it's actually
I'm willing
sanity.
to stand by this.
Bob Marley hasn't made an album in what 30 years, right?
Still alive? I mean, for real. I don't know.
He's been dead
His
for
children are
decades.
alive.
Decades.
Oh, okay.
So he made $14
I've
million.
never liked that music ever.
PewDiePie has to make a video, like 3 videos a week. Like he's got to work his ass
What kind
off.
of videos does PewDiePie make, or do
Reaction
I not want to know?
videos, gameplay videos, they're pretty fun. Floor gang. Next meme. All right, so next question. Here we go. Your tiebreaker would be Jared Juice World Higgins, the rapper, who unfortunately died on like 21 years old, like last year. So it's pretty sad. Versus another doctor, Dr. Disrespect, famous streamer. Where's the glasses, the bulletproof vest, Dr. Disrespect? No, no one knows it.
Who was the rapper you said?
Juice World.
I've never heard of either.
Neither of these people.
All
Or
right.
the wrong.
I'm.
So is this gonna?
Wait.
This has no bearing on the competition.
What's the name of the guy? The Juice World guy?
Juice World. His name is Jared
Juice
Higgins.
WRLD.
Juice World. The world's, of course, spelled traditionally as WRLD.
Well,
Versus Dr. Disrespect.
Versus Dr. Disrespect.
I'm gonna go with Dr. Disrespect, just because he's a doctor.
I'm gonna go with that one guy.
Juice
I'm
World.
going, yeah, Disrespect.
Dr. Disrespect made from his subscriptions on Twitch and YouTube 330,000. Juice World, even though he only released 2 albums and died, made $15 million.
Oh, I was wrong again.
Yeah, it's
Wait, so
I
is the
hate
Juice
this
World guy?
game.
Juice World. Juice World won that.
Sweet.
It's hard to sit there and look at because obviously celebrities that are still alive, like Kylie Jenner, made $570 million, and Michael, it's one of the Jenner kids, Robert,
Still no.
Bruce Jenner, and
Right. The
Kardashian's
people.
daughter.
Yeah.
What was that TV show?
Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
You shouldn't have answered that, Tom.
Wasn't
Well,
it
I
Jersey
just-
Shores
That
or
said something about you, but yeah.
Listen, just because I'm Michael Jackson is actually the richest dead celebrity at $48 million, which is pretty high. But living celebrities you can make way more than that. But anyway, thank you all for playing Dead or Alive. Appreciate, love it, and thanks you all for listening to the PARAcast. For Steve Koski, Robert Wyatt, and Kenny Terry, I'm Tom Nelson, bidding you peace, love, and soul as we departed through the open waters of the Sea of Life on a little boat we like to call the PARAcast.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Good night, everybody.
Toot toot.